Divers in the Florida Keys found solid stone, carved the way only ocean waves can carve it. But it wasn't formed near any coastline. It was built underwater, layer by layers, starting over 125,000 years ago. Older than the pyramids. Older than written language. Back then, the ocean stood over 20 feet higher than it does today. Then the sea pulled back and the ocean floor became land. Right now, hotels, highways, and entire towns are built on top of that vanished sea. And almost no one standing on it knows what's actually underneath. To understand this mystery, you first have to understand what the Florida Keys actually are. They aren't ordinary islands. They're fossilized coral reefs, the remains of an entire ocean ecosystem that thrived 125,000 years ago, during a warm period scientists call the Sangamonian Interglacial. Back then, sea levels stood at least 20 feet higher than today. Coral grew across what is now dry land, building reefs the exact same way coral builds them in shallow water anywhere else on Earth. Then everything changed. Ice sheets expanded. Sea levels dropped. And the reef that once sat underwater was left exposed, hardened into limestone, and became the foundation of the islands we now call the Florida Keys. For decades, that was the end of the story. A geological footnote. Nothing more. But researchers just found out the story wasn't finished. Here's what they missed. That ancient limestone isn't solid. It's porous, riddled with tiny channels and hollow chambers, almost like a stone sponge. And because it connects directly to the surrounding ocean, water doesn't stay put. It moves through the rock itself, rising and falling with the tides, even in places nowhere near a visible shoreline. Which means the ancient sea never actually left. It retreated into the rock. And it's been sitting there, hidden, for over 100,000 years, waiting. Now, satellite data and groundwater monitoring confirm it. That hidden water is rising again. Slowly, steadily, climbing back up through the exact same limestone the coral built more than 100 millennia ago. One scientist put it bluntly, the islands are built on the memory of an ocean, and that ocean is coming back to reclaim its own foundation. Not everyone agrees on the timeline. One theory says this could take centuries to reshape the coastline. Another says it's already happening in flooded streets, in saltwater reaching freshwater wells, in roads that flood without a single drop of rain falling. But here's what nobody disputes. The evidence is sitting in the rock itself. Core samples pulled from beneath the Keys show clear fossilized reef structures, physical proof of that ancient higher sea, preserved in stone for over 100,000 years. Which leaves one question researchers still can't answer. If the ocean built this land once and left a record of exactly how it did it, what happens when it finishes the pattern it already started? Perhaps the deepest mystery here isn't the ancient sea buried in the rock. It's that the ground beneath millions of people is quietly remembering what it once was. And it's not finished remembering. There's another buried coastline doing the exact same thing right now, and what's surfacing there is even stranger. That's next.